It's Tracey and Noelle. They're gonna make you LOL on 90 Day Fiancé Trash Talk.
Hello and welcome to 90 Day Fiancé Trash Talk. This is episode 232. I'm your host, comedian Tracey Carnazzo, joined by my lovely co-host, Noelle Herzog.
Hello and hi.
Hello. We're here to talk about season 6, episode 7 of Before the 90 Days.
Did you think this episode was easy to watch?
So easy to watch.
Why was it this easy? It's the best couples.
So here's the thing. We're recording this live Sunday, July 16th at 10:22 p.m.
I can't believe it.
We've never done this in the history of 90. No, we used to do it once in a while.
Sometimes.
Noelle, I usually take at least 2 days to watch this show. And I don't mean 2 days like I wait 2 days. I'm talking about I watch it for 2 days.
She watches 10 minutes, walks the dog. 10 minutes, does her homework.
Eats
right.
the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
adopts a fish.
Usually I watch it like Monday.
Right.
Monday morning.
We just flew through it. So we're like, you know what? Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're here.
We're
we
queer.
Are queer.
Get used to it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're doing this now because then you know what? Tomorrow we don't have to podcast.
I know. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
love
that we use podcast as a verb. Meanwhile, it's record.
I know. I always do. I always tell Matt, like, okay, Matt, I have to podcast.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have to potty. All right. So we have a lot of announcements to make before we get into this. The first announcement I'd like to make is that we're covering Vanderpump Rules on our brand new podcast called So Pumped, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. It's available exclusively on our Patreon, which is right down there in the show notes. Patreon.com/Trash Talk Podcast. Join at the super duper level and up. And guess what else you're going to get when you join? What are you going to get? Okay, well, I'm glad you asked. The Other Way is back. 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. And we are also covering that exclusively on Patreon.
So, okay. You go on Patreon.
Right.
You get So Pumped.
Sure.
You get 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. You get BS.
Oh my God, that's my favorite podcast.
And you get the backlog of like a billion podcasts.
Like 90 Day Fiancé, The Single Life.
90 Day Fiancé Self-Quarantine.
Wow, that's a lot. 16 and Pregnant Trash Talk.
I was going to say 16 and Pregnant.
Wow. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe I'll join the Patreon.
I think you should join the Patreon.
Join the Patreon, guys.
Matt said he was going to join the Patreon.
Get away from me, Matt.
I know, right? He's like, I should join.
Shut up. We're going to jump right in the pool now that we did our announcements, now that we did some housekeeping. We're going to start with Statler.
I can't not call her Striker. It's a problem.
I want you to call her Striker. You know what? I want you to call whatever you feel. Because you know what? Other people's feelings don't matter. Right, Noelle?
Right, Tracey? Whatever. My whole life, people call me Nicole.
People call me Stacy.
Oh, that's true. Yes, my grandmother called you Stacy.
Yeah, it's fine. I knew what she was talking about.
You know who she meant.
Yeah, it's me. Statler is 33 years old from Texas. If in case you forgot, she gets to England and Dempsey, guess what? Missed her flight from Thailand.
I'm hearing this and I'm like, okay, sure, she was in Thailand. You know?
You think?
Well, no, now I know. But like at first I was like, please.
No, but it's like, how are you timing international flights so that you meet at the airport? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Also, go home and take a shower. Come on.
Right. Don't you want to be fresh?
Don't you want to be fresh and have a sandwich?
I want a sandwich.
Don't you want a turkey sandwich with a little bit of mustard?
I love turkey sandwiches.
Don't you want shredded iceberg lettuce and a little bit of some
vinegar,
cheddar? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or sharp cheddar.
Do you want your tomato with a little bit of salt and your shredded iceberg lettuce just finely dressed?
If I'm making it at home, there's also garlic powder on my tomato.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
In a sandwich. I think it's delicious.
No, I mean, it's great. It's just not for me.
Oh, I put garlic powder on everything. Like mashed potatoes, everything.
Right. Yeah, it's because you love Baked by Melissa, and that's what she does.
No, she doesn't. She puts tahini in everything.
She puts garlic powder and grated garlic in everything.
All right. Well, I've put garlic powder on everything since I'm like a toddler, though.
This
isn't because Melissa.
If you want to hear, if you want to hear more about that, you can go to BS. That's on Patreon.
Yes.
All right. So she's not going to see her until tomorrow. And she's like, this is really just feeding into my insecurities because we haven't been communicating. So what are you worried she's not going to show up?
I think so.
Wild. Okay. I like what she says here. And by like, I mean, don't like.
Says what?
She's like, I don't have a plan B. This is my only plan. It's like, Okay, guess what? You don't really need to have a plan B. You're just meeting someone to see if you like them. Stop.
Well, in her mind, she's gonna move in with her.
Okay, well, guess what? You might not. I hate to tell
Right.
you.
I know. She says she has all her eggs in one basket case.
So what happens? What happens if you don't like her and she doesn't like you?
Right, because the thing is, you might not like her.
Right, but what happens? There's no plan B. So what?
Never.
You still have to be with her anyway.
You have to stay with her. You have to marry her anyway.
Good for that. So they're staying in Manchester, and Robert Irvine from Restaurant Impossible is her cab driver.
He was. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, look at this guy.
I know. I couldn't believe he I mean, that show isn't on air anymore, I don't think, right?
No.
Restaurant Impossible.
Because he like lied all of the stuff.
Oh, did he?
Network.
He set it up.
Like his like all of his credits were like lies. I think he lied about being like in the army. Like it was like crazy. Like he lied about all this stuff.
Why did that just make me respect him so much more?
I mean, I could tell you why, but I'm not gonna tell you on air. I don't want the people to know about you.
Oh my God, I love that.
I know, isn't that funny? And he like, see, it's like you.
Yeah, wasn't he like Sir
because
Robert
he's
Irvine?
gotten he got so far on the Food
I love
Network
that.
on a scam, and of course,
God, I love that.
Oh boy, she's got a new crush, guys. You heard it here first.
Robert, I love you. Robert, if you're listening,
I loved Restaurant Impossible.
I did too, but it just there's a lot of things about it that grossed me out.
Oh, I mean, stuff on all those shows gross me out.
It just makes me sad. All right. So Robert Irvine is her cab driver. He's like, hello. He's like, I'm actually a cab driver. I was never in the service. I lost my job and here I am.
Yes.
So I like how she gets to the hotel and she goes, now I can rest in peace.
It was also the smallest hotel room I've ever seen in my life.
That is correct.
That was a coffin.
It was a coffin. So she takes a 3-hour train ride to the Cow Hollow Hotel.
It looked nice.
Okay. I like that the hotel worker brings her to the room and goes, if you need anything at the front desk, just use the phone. And she goes, oh, wow.
Like, that's not what they do in every single hotel ever. It's called the front desk.
She just told you about the invention called the telephone. And you said, oh, wow.
Well, I mean, this is before, they haven't had house phones in a long time. Landlines.
Well, she doesn't like how close the toilet is to the bed. And neither do you.
Oh, I don't like that at all. I mean, I have a bathroom in my room. Yes.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
Well, she wakes up sick and she is peeing on camera. She has a belly ache and she's like, I can't meet her like this. She is pooping a lot.
They wanted us to think she was pooping on camera.
Yes. And that was not true. So she is going to go to the doctor. She goes to like an urgent care and she sprays perfume on her butt to go there.
Which, okay, if that makes you feel good.
I don't know. Wash your butt then if it smells that bad.
She probably washed her butt, but I think in case she has gas, maybe.
I don't know. Well, turns out she has a parasite.
I can't think about it. I'm going to faint.
They give her nausea meds. They work right away. And she said that she feels now she's going to meet her straight out of urgent care.
See, I think that that's crazy on Dempsey's part and Stryker's part.
Yeah, of course. She's like, I feel like this is my first look at my wife.
But also, like, she looks in the face unwell. She looked better after that medicine, but that's how you want to meet her for the first time. What if you have to poop?
What if you have to poop?
Yeah.
You can't give me an hour? She talks like a robot to her.
Yeah, she does. She's suddenly so awkward.
She's so awkward. So Dempsey is blushing. Dempsey is the cutest thing ever.
I am in love with her.
Me too. I love her. She's so funny. She's like, oh, you have such a monotone voice. And then I will tell you this. Statler says something that's adorable.
That she wants to check out her butt?
No, first she goes, I feel at home. Meaning that she's
so nice.
But then I kind of dissect that statement and I'm like, oh, I feel at home because I'm moving in with you, Dempsey. Nice to meet you.
I definitely didn't take it as that, but that's funny.
She checks out her butt, which is cute.
She checks out her butt. I think Dempsey is so cute. Her little ponytail. She just seems so nice.
She seems so nice. Very good vibes.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, Statler is acting like how Dana Carvey acted in Wayne's World.
Yeah. She's acting like a wacko.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Well, speaking of.
Yeah.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices and the path forward isn't always clear. Sometimes you have to have a plan B, Noelle.
And I don't often have one.
Well, whether you're dealing with decisions around career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate your life so you can move forward with confidence and excitement.
I think everyone should be in therapy.
Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values, like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets.
That's true.
You're right, though. Everyone should be in therapy. And it's not
Mhm.
just for those who've experienced major trauma. It's very helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. And it empowers you to be the best version of yourself.
Totally agree.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. That's what me and Noelle use. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist. And Noelle's favorite part, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
Done it a bunch. You know what? My brother-in-law just did that too.
Yeah. You don't have to explain anything. You just press a button.
You just go boop. I was always so nervous because I thought I'd have to explain myself. And you
don't have to explain yourself. You just press the button. Do it again. Boop.
Boop.
Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/fiance today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/fiance. Speaking of BetterHelp, let's talk about Jasmine and Gino.
Yeah, this was even an interesting watch. Usually they're not even interesting. Yeah.
It's disturbing. It's interesting in a bad way. So they go to the Panama Canal and Gino's super excited to go there because he's an engineer. And this is like a very, very, very big deal.
Yeah, which I think that's so cool that they went there.
Well, Jasmine starts talking about how the US and Panama work together on this project and they've always had a love story. And she compares the love to her and Gino and he is zoned out. And she goes, baby, I'm talking.
And he's like, can't you just let me be? Can you just let the guy like look around?
I don't know. I think they're both off.
No, I know, but it's like the guy can't even look at the Panama Canal without you being like, why won't you have sex with me?
Right. But also he's kind of being the worst as well.
I don't think he's actually being that bad.
I don't mean right now. I'm saying in this whole relationship. No. Right now he's fine.
Yeah.
Gino has been acting weird since last night. And she said that her ex-husband had really bad communication. And he's like, well, I didn't have a problem with my ex-wife. And she goes, how could you bring up your ex-wife?
But I mean, she is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen.
Yes, she is. So she said that him and his ex-wife probably had a very boring relationship. And he's like, not really.
Yeah, they weren't toxic.
Yeah. So her friend Yura told him that Dane is her ex-boyfriend.
I actually am surprised that Gino didn't know that.
Well, he's worried that she's cheating on him and he's trying to open a granola bar and he says, quote, my hands are so watery.
I mean, this guy can't get it together. He's so scared of her.
He's terrified.
Yeah, he is. He's scared
but he's
of her.
Also like kind of standing up to her in these weird ways.
You know, I've noticed this about it on this show. People pick the strangest things to stand up for themselves about. Like now, this is what you stand up for yourself about?
Well, he asked her about the ex and she's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't want to be with him. So she hasn't told him that he lives in the building yet.
But also, he's on a family vacation. What does he need to know? You're moving out in a month.
I know, really. Just shut up.
Yeah.
So she said they talk once a week at least. And Gino takes a deep breath like he has been stabbed.
He can't believe it.
He looks like he's going to faint.
But it's also like, I get it, because if this was Gino saying this to Jasmine, he wouldn't live anymore.
No. So he asked if she thinks about being with him sexually. And she's like, well, I don't, but I do remember what it was like.
So like, what does that mean?
I have no clue what that means, but she said that Gino rejects her so much. He brings out all of her insecurities, which I actually agree with.
I do agree with that.
And Gino said that according to Jasmine, she's been cheating because even speaking to someone else is cheating.
Okay, but Jasmine has said that.
I know. But then guys, guess what? Just break up.
No, I know. But because it's like, I don't even know if it's love on either end. I used to think it was at least love on Gino's end, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think he just thinks he can't do better and she's hot.
Exactly. Well, moving on to real love.
My favorite couple.
Misha and Nicola.
I love her.
Listen, she's something.
This is the kind of mom I need.
Yeah. Oh God. Well,
no, she's fun. I like her. She's not well.
Okay. I do like that she said in the last episode, like, I'm not here to sightsee. I'm here to figure things out with you. And now she's like, I love being in the Holy Land.
Right.
Now you love being in the Holy Land. But she's mad that he won't address the concerns that she has. And I got to tell you, I kind of agree with her.
Okay, yes. But I feel like another common theme on the show is, can anybody just relax? Why do we have to go in guns blazing?
Okay, but how about this? You were talking for 7 years.
Okay, but apparently she didn't express any of this to him until she got there, though.
Right. 7 years, though. You had 7 years.
I don't know. I think that he's been very sheltered, I guess, with the way to say it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So they go to this trendy city, and she said that she needs to change into something fancy because they get out of the car at the hotel, and there had been a wedding at the hotel. There's a woman in the poofiest wedding dress you've ever seen. And she's like, oh, absolutely not. I'm changing right now. He's like, bro, that's a wedding dress.
And she's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
What do you think that is? You think that's her casual brunch dress?
And then she took it back and she's like, well, maybe it is, but I'm still dressing differently.
Oh my God. I enjoyed her first outfit more.
Me too. She said that she used to be on TV. That's why she's so good at getting naked in the back of a car.
Is that what you call it?
Well, they go to, what is it, Hafia?
I think that's what I wrote. I didn't know if spell check changed it.
Yeah, Hafia is where Mount Carmel is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
This place looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then they see a nice dog walk by. Aww.
And I like that she's like, oh, look at the little doggy. So it's like, you're my friend.
So he's like, hey, are you feeling better about never going to meet my mom and my brother and they hate you?
And she's like, well, now that you mention it, no.
So he's like, look, I texted my brother and I asked him if he would meet you, and he just left me unread.
But she's like, can I see that text message?
Yeah, he's like, look, he didn't even respond.
Look at that.
Look, and it's not even his real number. Look at that. I actually texted Domino's.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
I texted Papa John's. That's my dad. His name is Papa John's.
Oh boy.
You know, Papa Giuseppe. So she also said that if they don't get engaged on this trip, they're going to break up forever.
See, that is where so many women on the show lose me. This forcefulness doesn't work.
Yeah. Also, then how about if you don't get engaged on the trip, then just break up with him?
You also don't even know if you like him.
Right. But if that's what you want, then break up with him after he doesn't propose to you.
Right. You don't have to give him like an ultimatum.
You don't have to say that.
So you want someone to marry you because you told them they have to?
Right.
That's crazy.
What a dream. I see people do this all the time on social media.
It is the story of my Instagram.
And I'm like, what a dream.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So he doesn't like bars, but she wants to go out and let loose and have fun. And he hasn't been to a bar in 20 years because it's not holy to go to a nightclub.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that her religion, like, is this a hoax? Is she just like, do you think that she's very religious? Yeah.
I don't know, because he's on the other end of the spectrum.
Right.
And it's like, you can be very religious and not act the way he acts. He's taking, like we spoke last time, he's taking the Bible very literally. Yeah. He also is making up his own rules, which a lot of religious people do.
He's like a stick in the mud. Like,
he said that drinking isn't a sin, but smoking is a sin.
Right. So it's like, how hypocritical is that?
But that's what I mean. So it's, I think that everyone kind of, I think a lot of religious people, they tailor their religion to kind of like
what's good for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yes.
Because I couldn't understand his double standards. And I'm like,
that's what a lot of religious people do. I'm not saying all of them.
No,
but a lot of them do tailor things to fit their needs.
I could see that.
It's called a cafeteria Catholic.
Look at you.
Look at me.
All versed in shit.
Everyone has an agenda.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You know, it's like people that stand outside an abortion clinic and threaten to kill the people that are going to have an abortion.
Yes.
And then support the death penalty. And it's like,
what the hell sense is that?
Wait, didn't you just say life is life is life? Like,
right.
What? It's just very hypocritical. And a lot of people think that very religious people are very hypocritical.
Yes.
That's a theme in life. So she said that she does smoke one cigarette on New Year's Eve. I know that you love that.
Of course I love that. I'm like, I just want to smoke one cigarette a year.
You used to say that all the time.
Yet.
I know.
I'm so scared.
You're like, just a Capri.
I was just going to say, I want a Capri. I want a Capri.
And you say I don't listen when you talk.
I know you do. I think you listen when I talk. Don't know about anybody else, but you listen when I talk.
That's true. So he doesn't like that she smokes one cigarette on New Year's Eve. Guess what, Misha? You also didn't have to tell him that. He wouldn't have known.
Why do you keep telling him everything? Leaky faucet.
Right? So he said that dancing is a sin.
Why?
Okay, let me ask you a question. When you go to a religious wedding, they dance. Is that a sin?
Everybody's sinning at the wedding.
Is this Footloose?
Right. But like, I don't get it.
What is going on here?
What is the problem? It's not like you're going there and like, grinding and hooking up.
Right. You can choose what you do in a nightclub. Going to a nightclub and dancing is not a sin. Stop it, Nicola.
Also, if drinking isn't a sin, go to a nightclub and have a couple of drinks. You don't have to dance.
Right, but smoking is a sin.
You can't win.
All right. Well, he said that they can go for 5 to 10 minutes. So you can only sin a little bit.
That was funny. But then I think he really liked it.
Okay. Well, she goes, look at you dancing. Meanwhile, 5 minutes ago, you were pretending you didn't even have a groovy bone in your body.
A groovy bone.
I loved that.
I really I like her so much. I don't think he's bad. I think that if he has,
I think culturally
tweaking,
it's too much. It's too much for him.
Yeah, and I do too. But I also think like I don't know if he's for her. Like I think that he's so strict. I don't think that she would be okay with that.
This is like when American women go to these Muslim countries where everyone's very conservative, and they're like, "What's your problem?"
Yeah,
it's like, "Well, what's my problem? I told you what my problem was."
Yeah, of course. Like you can't touch me in public.
I met you on a Novena website. What do you think my problem is? You think
you
think everything's okay? I run the Novena website.
You wanted the St. Jude prayer. That's all you wanted.
All right. Well, speaking of St. Jude, let's talk about Tyray.
I'm gonna need you to clear some things up for me.
I can't wait to.
Okay.
He is a gift from the heavens.
He is a gift. Nicola prayed for Tyray.
And he gave him to us.
He's delivered to us.
Well, here we go. His sister picks him up to talk about Carmela. He reached out to a private investigator for more information because he thinks that Carmela's boyfriend or husband wants to break them up.
Okay, but Carmela, you haven't been talking to Carmela. This is what I don't get.
He doesn't get it either.
Because like you're talking to Christian.
Okay. Christian is her husband or boyfriend that's trying to break them up.
Okay.
But he's really upset that Carmela is a hooker in the U.S. on the side when she's not in Barbados being married in prison.
So, but that's what I mean. This is what confuses me.
It's whatever's fitting his narrative at the time.
Yeah.
So we meet Lewis, the private investigator for 20 years that got a computer last week.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, I'm gonna look at the CPU and see what's going on here.
Man. I'm gonna look on Spokio.
Yeah. So he said that the numbers that he was texting were text apps and the PayPal is unavailable. He reverse searched some photos from the escort sites and came across a cam porn site.
Right.
He came across a Twitter. He said that the PayPal that this woman lists on Twitter on Twitter is different than the PayPal that Tyray had sent money to.
Right. It's not the same girl.
Okay. I just like how Tyray listens to none of that and just reads her Twitter. And he's like, oh, she's a fetish queen.
I know. And I'm like, what are we going to watch here together now?
And then the private investigator is like, she's from the USA. He's like, what? She told me she's from Barbados.
Oh, God. I just can't with this guy.
He said it does not line up with the Carmela he knows.
You don't know Carmela.
Tyray. That is what we're trying to tell you.
Right.
It does not line up with the Carmela that you know. That's the name of this show. 90 Day
do
Fiance.
Not know Carmela.
It does not line up with the Carmela you know. 90 Day Fiance. Okay. Well, he said maybe they are two different people.
Okay.
I don't think he even means that. I think he means that they have two different personalities.
I would just love to know what he means by all of this talk.
Nothing.
Okay. Because I'm watching this and I'm like, what am I missing? I am missing a Lego piece here.
No, you're not. I think Tyray's the one missing the piece.
He is missing a Lego.
Yes. He's missing a Lego and I think he stepped on it.
Oh.
He's missing a fishbone.
Oh, this guy is definitely missing a fishbone.
So she had never sent him a video with sound. So he doesn't know her voice because the private investigator is playing her voice.
He can't match it up, right?
He said that the private investigator. See, now the private investigator is losing me too. He's like, look at that. Look at that picture of her. It has the same moon background.
So, okay, that's what I was confused about. So what are you trying to say? So you think he's talking to her?
Lewis got his computer started. His Windows 95 took about 3 hours to boot up.
Yes.
I'm just saying. If I get a private investigator, I want them to be under the age of 20.
So they're hip on things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they know what TikTok is.
I want a 14-year-old private investigator. Because me too. I promise you, they will do better than we can do.
I agree with that.
So he's now crying. He said they were soulmates, but he wants to talk to the real Carmela because he thinks that they're working together. Whoever's catfishing is working with the real Carmela. I like how he thinks that the real Carmela is a hooker in the United States. And he's like, well, I guess I could just have a conversation with her. Maybe we could just kiss. I mean, we could just talk.
But like, you're so right. Why is his sister not like, I'll just pay for her? Just get it out of your system.
Just buy him, Carmela.
Yeah.
Just
do it.
Okay. And then Lewis says, yes, quote, they work in gangs. Who's they?
I'm guessing like a husband and wife duo.
A husband and wife catfishing duo.
So let me get straight. Tyray thinks Carmela and her husband Christian are scamming him. Okay. And she was in prison
in Barbados
talking to him.
But now she's in the US hookering.
Got it.
And webcamming.
Right. She's in Modesto now. Got it. Okay.
So he goes home and we meet his other sister. And he said that the real Carmela that he reached out to, the escort, has not messaged him back. Okay. Yeah.
Well, didn't he message her like, I think I know you?
Yeah. She's like, delete.
What do you think? Right.
So they're going to drink a beer.
Right.
Shapriya is his sister.
Yeah.
So
he's going to tell her and the mom together.
He's like, go get mom, go wheel her in so I could come clean to both of you.
I got to tell both of you at once.
Okay. The most shocking information.
My
heart stopped.
Tell me.
His mother, who is recovering from a stroke. He's like, I met this girl. She's from Barbados. His mother's like, you went to Barbados to meet her while I was in the hospital? His sister's like, oh my God, I thought you had to clear your head. I was wondering why you went to Barbados while mom was actively dying.
And she's like, I was going to tell you not to go. That's when he chose to go.
He went to Barbados in the height of COVID while his mother was dying in the hospital of a stroke.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so great.
He's like, yeah, but mom, did you see her butt?
Right.
He's like, let me show you this video without sound of her butt.
Mom, she does fetish.
Mom, she's a fetish queen. His mother is so confused. And you know what? Rightfully so. Yeah.
I'm so confused too. I think he's trying to say he needs closure.
Well, he said that he tells them that she's in porn and he wants to go back to Barbados to meet Christian. You can't Zoom with someone, maybe?
Right. So you have to go to Barbados. No, because he thinks he'll go there and it'll be Carmela.
Well, they're very angry at this person that's catfishing him.
Yeah, I know. They're like, good thing that she's
they're ready to throw hands.
Well,
speaking of throwing hands, let's talk about Violet and Riley.
Okay.
I don't like him all the way.
Yeah, I don't like him even a little bit.
So this is the day after their argument, and they go to the War Remembrance Museum. How romantic.
I would, though, really like to see this outfit that was getting made for him.
I know.
I'm still waiting.
We're going to the PTSD Remembrance Museum.
Seriously.
And she needs to explain her culture and that he was rude when he didn't come to her house with a gift for her mom and all of these other things.
But how is that just her culture? Isn't that rude everywhere?
And he goes, how would I know that? She goes, I don't know. You could ask me what to bring my mom.
How would I even know what she likes?
You could ask. She's like, Google.com.
Right. Get flowers.
Please.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, okay, well, we're talking about culture. It is rude in my culture to call me fat and ugly in front of everyone.
I mean, that made me laugh.
He's like, that's not my culture. And it's like, well, Riley, you haven't really been in my world very long. Because that's clearly my culture. He said that he's only seen one other black person there, and he thinks that she's feeding into the stereotype. Like, basically, like, he thinks that she's showing other people that black people are unattractive.
Right.
And it's the color of his skin. And I was
he's
like, yeah,
trying to say like dark skin is ugly. And like, because there's not a lot of black people there. They're not exposed to other cultures and stuff. And it made me feel really bad.
I got to tell you, he's so right on all of that. On
no,
both of the
I
points.
know. And I have to tell you, I never would have thought about it that way. And he says this and I'm like, wow, that is an awful feeling.
He's absolutely right.
Sure.
But I still don't like him.
Oh, I don't like him at all, but he has
Yeah.
a point.
So they're going to try to communicate better. So they go to this dinner. She's going to wear a sexy dress. She looks adorable.
She's so cute.
I got to tell you, he wears this white suit with the pink shirt. He does not look stupid. I like this.
Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is very Miami Vice of him. He looks good in it. He just does.
He really does.
Yeah. You know, you see a lot of guys in white suits and I think they look so lame and
nice.
Over the top. It is tailored well.
It
And
fit
I
nice.
love a good suit that fits well. And he's like
nice.
Tall as shit. I didn't realize how tall he was.
Yeah. So she's like, you know what? Why don't you tell me about your culture? I have some questions. He's like, okay, what do you want to know? And she goes, what happens when your family doesn't like me? Your dad likes me so much. He's like, oh, okay, that's not what I heard. You texted my dad like these crazy things about me. And she's like, I thought we were having a nice dinner.
And then she gets mad. Right. And then he's like, okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
He apologizes for bringing it up. He's like, you thought that was bad? He's like, we're going to FaceTime Tiffany and I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I mean, that is crazy. I would have guys would have a good night.
I would have thrown the phone into the water, into the pond.
Yeah.
And like, your phone slipped out of my hand. Tiffany is dead. It's so weird.
I don't know what happened.
And she's not friends with you anymore because she died.
Because Tiffany starts off so nice.
Tiffany comes in sweet. She's like, she comes in like a lamb and goes out like a lion.
She's a Sour Patch Kid.
She really is. So she has the most giant sunglasses on. What are we doing?
I don't know. What is this?
So he goes to the bathroom and they talk about how nice he is and how he's a great guy. And she's like, okay, cool. Why were you still on the app?
What, Tiffany, why is it your business?
Because he asked her to ask her.
Of course he did, because he's scared now to ask her anything.
He comes back from the bathroom and he's like, yeah, Violet, why don't you ask her question? Why don't you ask? He's bullying her.
Of course he is, because now he has someone else like there with him to bully her.
He's looking at her, smiling.
But why was she on the apps?
Okay, but you know what? That's like maybe a private conversation. And also, if you don't trust her, then don't go there. Stop.
Well, I agree. I do feel like he's nervous to ask her anything because when he asks her things, she does get very mad and defensive.
Yeah, then don't be with her.
Yeah, but he should be allowed to ask her things. Like, I would want to know why
he's allowed
she was
to ask, but
website.
she's allowed to react however she wants. Stop. Don't be with her. They're not compatible.
No, they're not compatible. I think they're trying to be. And obviously, he has a lot of trust issues. But Noelle, want to know why she was still on the dating site.
We could talk to her. I'll talk nice to her.
Okay.
All right. Well, speaking of attractiveness, Cleo and Christian.
My heart is breaking for Cleo. I can't take this.
I do not like Christian more than I don't like Riley.
Me too.
Because Riley likes Violet.
Yes.
Riley loves Violet.
Christian does not like Cleo.
Christian, forget not liking Cleo. I don't like Christian.
Yeah, I think Christian is
It's like Cleo. Guess what? He doesn't like you. You don't like him.
Well, so that's the thing. I think Cleo is just like very like not insecure, but like really wants Christian to like her.
Yeah, she's like almost grateful.
Yeah.
She thinks that he's out of her league.
Listen, then I have a bridge to sell you.
I mean, he's not even on a little league.
I was born on a night, but not last night, honey.
What do you think? I screw my head on and off at night? That was good, right?
Oh, God, I love you.
I love you. So he slept facing the other way, and he just slept. But in the middle of the night, he would hug her. She would hug him back. So you know what, Christian? Stop. I can't figure him out because I don't think that he's not attracted to her.
So the thing is, I think that he was totally hyped about her and really liked her. And I think his family really got in his head.
Okay.
I do.
But I think he's all the way attracted to her.
So do I.
I think he's
scared. Yeah.
He's scared, but he's all the way attracted to her. He's scared what other people think.
Yeah. But it's like, I have to tell you, I cannot believe that it blows my mind because like if I met someone who was trans and I liked them and someone had a problem with that, like I can't believe someone could have a problem with that. That blows my mind.
Get a life.
Who cares? Why do you care who I hook up with?
Right. As long as they're nice.
Why would his family care as long as he's happy?
Yeah, look, I think that's the whole theme of this entire
I
show.
Cannot believe in this day and age people have a problem with this.
I know, but it's very real.
No, I know it is, but it's just in my mind.
But that's like saying, like, I can't believe that people are racist nowadays. It's like, yeah,
no,
so many people are racist. It's insane.
No, basically like 98% of people are
Yes.
racist. People still say such ignorant things that I
Of
can't believe
course.
that they're saying.
Well, she wants more affection, and she also in the morning has to put on her arm gel. So this was like kind of interesting.
I never knew this was a thing.
I knew this was a thing. I didn't realize it was an arm gel.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it absorbs right into your bloodstream and it dries in 2 to 3 minutes. And
Right.
this is what he said. He's like, I like that she was so, what I liked about her was that she was so open, but now it like freaks me out. Cause like, what if I touch her arm? It's like, what are you going to catch trans?
But that's what I mean. What do you think is going to happen?
Stop being ignorant.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think your voice is going to change? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think is going to, it's so stupid.
Maybe we'll lighten you up a little bit.
He's so ignorant. It really bothers me.
I would estrogen gel him in his sleep.
You would.
Yeah, I would.
You would.
You're afraid?
Put
You
it
won't
on my
touch
lips.
me?
Let's kiss.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Poor
Sorry.
Cleo. Cleo's so nice.
Cleo's super nice. So he said that he doesn't like to plan anything. He's a fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy. Guess what? She is very open about the fact that she wants to plan something, and he doesn't care.
He does not take her autism and anxiety seriously at all.
And that's what I hate about him.
Yeah,
more.
of course, me too.
So he's like, yeah, I was a big Jane Bond fan, and she's my Bond girl. Look at us looking at Big Ben.
If it makes her more comfortable to just plan a day, why can't you just plan a day?
Plan a day. You know what you want to do.
Right.
Stop.
Be like, okay, let's go.
Stop trying to be so cool.
Yeah, that's what it is. Stop pretending to be so cool.
So they go for this drink in this outside bar. It's not very crowded. He's talking a mile a minute.
Always about himself, but the bar is very nice.
He is bragging about how easy it is to drink Jameson for him. He drinks so much of it.
Yeah, cool. Oh, you down Jameson.
Wow.
Gross.
He chugs it. So now he asked if she likes dance clubs, basically. And he loves dance clubs. How long have you been talking to this girl?
Right. You've never asked her if she dances?
Okay, but she has presented herself. She's like, I am autistic. I do not like sensory overload. Yeah. I like quiet places. I like to plan things. Yeah. I like my life to be calm. And he's like, great.
Right.
You want to do fireworks?
Right. Do you want to rage?
Yeah. And she's like, no, I don't like dancing. And he's like, okay, great. We're going to go to this noisy theme bar.
Why?
How can they be together if she's too afraid to tell him that things make her anxious? Because
she is grateful that he likes her, and that's what makes me upset.
Oh my God. So he gets a drink, right? They get these like fancy drinks that are served in trophies.
I know. This looks cool.
And he goes, excuse me, I'm gonna go to town on it.
Right, like I have to chug it right now. I need to get wasted.
Then he tells the story about being on the plane. Now remember, when he was on the plane, he said he cut himself off.
Tracey, that was my first thought.
So he tells the story about how he was on the plane. There were all these 21-year-old girls on the plane. He was sitting with them. He approached them on the plane because they were the only ones awake. Yeah. So basically everyone on the plane is trying to sleep. And he's trying to hit on these young girls.
He's like partying on the plane.
Yes. So he goes over to the flight attendant because he thinks that he's going to the bar. And he's like, let me get 3 drinks. Because he wants them to have a nightcap together.
Uh-huh.
He makes it like he lived on this plane for weeks.
I mean, how long is this flight?
Stop.
Yeah.
So the flight attendant said, absolutely not. I know.
I heard about you.
Yeah, you're terrible.
Yeah. But he said that he told the flight attendant to cut him off.
Nope. She cut him off because she didn't want him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's like, does it bother you that I was actively hitting on these girls on the plane and drinking with them?
And it's like, Cleo's like, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, watch this. I'm going to do it right now again.
Why does he have to talk to a whole crew of girls?
Because he wants to show her how cool he is.
I hate it.
And he's like, come closer. Don't you love meeting new people in a crowded, noisy bar? She's like, this is what makes me anxious. He's like, well, I don't really care. She's like, I cannot focus when there's 100 people talking at the same time. And it's like, hello, same.
Right. He's like, Cleo's like, I can't talk to this many people at one time. Like, I just can't even talk to this many people at one time. And also, it's a group of strangers.
Aren't we supposed to be? This is our first date.
This is a date. That's what I mean. It's so weird.
We just met.
It's so weird.
Well, he's like, okay, fine, we'll leave. He downs his drink.
Uh-huh.
And I like what she said. She said she doesn't know if this is for her. She's like, if this is how it's gonna go, I don't know if this is
Well,
for me.
because I don't even think it's even just the socializing. I don't even think Cleo like drinks like that.
Yeah, but he needs to show her how he drinks like that.
That's the thing. That would put me off so much.
I will tell you this. I do not think that he presented himself like this when they were talking online.
I don't
for
think so
hours and
either.
hours and hours.
No way. I think that he presented himself like calm and I
Mhm.
know that you're autistic and you're
Right.
shy and
Right.
yeah,
And I'm
very
totally accepting of
understanding.
you being
Yes.
trans, and I don't care what people think.
Yes.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, flips
Now everything
the
changed.
script.
Mm-hmm.
Flips the script.
Hate it.
I do not like him. I don't like how he's treating her. This is making me uncomfortable.
Okay, me too. But I want to watch Misha and Nicola all day long, and I
Okay,
love
well,
Dempsey.
We're going to. I love Dempsey. I can't wait to see what happens with them.
Yeah, me too.
Also, you just aren't pooping anymore?
Oh, I think you meant me. I'm like, I'm done for the day. No, right. That's what I'm like. It's suddenly nighttime.
Just saying.
You're just
Okay.
done. I
Okay,
guess
well,
you got pneumonium.
God bless. Make sure you're following the podcast at 90 Day Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you're following us on TikTok at Trash Talk Podcast. You can follow Noelle at Noe Girl on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can follow me at Tracey Chuzini on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Go to TraceyCarnazzo.com for all of my upcoming stand-up comedy tour dates. And we have a ton of stuff going on Patreon, including 90 Day the Other Way and Vanderpump Rules. BS, our favorite podcast. So go over there, do the stuff, give us a 5-star rating and an amazing review on whatever platform you listen to us on. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. It's right down there in the show notes. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.